Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. My topic is on critical care outreach team services. So introduction goes like this, which is an essential part, integral part of a hospital-wide approach in improving the early identification and management of the critically deteriorating patient. It's a key for early admission to the intensive care unit, and we implemented the early warning score, which triggers the appropriate response to the patient needs. So this is a nurse-led services. So the problem definition goes like this: the deficit in communication and coordination of the care and information exchange between the ICU and general ward profession, and increases the risk of ICU readmission and mortality. There has been a lack in identifying an initiation of the treatment who has been deteriorating in the step-down wards. Inconvenience in the practice of tracking and triggering system in the ward setting. The problem diagnosis was we had received an increased code blue calls and increased readmission rate from the step-down ward to ICU in our hospital. So we decided to do an audit, that is readmission rate within 48 hours to ICU from Jan 2021 to October 2021. This is a tablet column which represents the before we start a CCOT team, that is totally it was 64 code blue calls which we have received, return of code blue calls which we have received. So the step down wards, there was not been proper monitoring, that is out of 64, 37 were from the step down wards. So it was alarming to start a team. So transout, this is a graph which represents about the transout from ICU pre-CCOT, that is 10 months of duration from Jan 2021 to October 2021, that is totally 2,154 patient was there. This is the problem remedy. So we do have model of PDSA, that is in plan. We have planned the aims and objective has been framed. We selected the senior nurses, 10 critical care outreach team has been selected by criteria, and 2 months session has been planned, and we have done training sessions for 2 months, and we have created an observational checklist and we have modified it. We have given a separate uniform and badges to monitor them, and data was being collected from the key indicators. Study, we collected the data and according to the objectives and results are reviewed compared with the initial audit. Act, discussion and recommendation have been given for the improvement of the patient outcome, and we analyze the feedback for the new process. Locking of the improvement, that is we strengthened our discharge criteria of a patient who has been shifted from the ICU to adult ICU to ward, and regular monitoring has been done by our critical care outreach team in the step down ward. We have rectified the problems, thereby we reduce the readmission rates. So there is an effective communication and coordination of the care and information exchange between the ICU and ward nurses. Re-audit has been done every 6 months. Cloning of the improvement, impressed by the result of this, we have increased our critical care outreach. We are planning to increase to another specialty, and training of the staff regarding the early warning score has been increased. That is the tangible results where we have re-audited, and there was major and minor complaints which has been identified by our critical care outreach team in the step down ward itself, and thereby we reduced the readmission rate to ICU, and the nurses has been empowered to assess the patient and better clinical outcome of good feedback from the patient, which increases the revenue of the patient. So this is a graph which represents a drastic reduction from 2.3 to 1.2% of readmission rate. So this is a graph which represents the total number of code blue calls has been decreased from 64 to 41, even which from 41 code blue calls, 12 were from the step down ward after we start our critical care. But critical care team not only reduces the readmission rate, but early transfer to the ICU has also been strengthened. So this is the intangible result, the effective communication between the both team, the consultant as well as the ward nurses, and ward nurses have gained the knowledge regarding the how to care about the critical care patients and improve the satisfaction level of the patients and the attenders. Good support ecosystem has been created and consultant has been satisfied. So this is a graph which represents the CCOT team, which they have identified a minor complaints of 131 and major complaints of 121 complaints. This is a training session with the agenda which has been prepared, and 2 months of training has been done. This is a critical care checklist which the critical care nurses have carried out, and this is the highlights of our training session. This is a strong pillar, strong clinical outreach team, 10 members with our Managing Trustee CEO Madam Mrs. Bharati Reddy Ma'am, our CMO Sir Dr. Anil Sir, and Dr. CNO ma'am, Prashisha Premlata ma'am. I thank for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.